So basically, what's been going on is I've been putting myself through it and started a brand new fresh account on battle.net in order to go through what the new players who are just joining Hearthstone at the moment, because they're kind of joining at a sort of badish time in a way, because you've just had like Curse of Naxxramas was released, Goblins vs Gnomes was released, Blackrock Mountain was released, so they're starting with really basic cards. They're going to be struggling even just to get their daily quests done. So I decided to set out, make some decks, sling them together, see how many matches I can win, and this warrior deck is pretty damn good. We're getting about 80 to 100% win rate with it, and it barely costs a thing to make. So let's go into it and talk about the cards, how you can use them, and then at the end you'll get to see a video of the deck fully in action. So starting off, we've got Double Execute, destroy a damaged enemy minion. So this is a pretty standard card in warrior decks. It doesn't cost a thing. In the match obviously it costs 1 gem, and you will need the enemy minion to be damaged. There's a couple of triggers in this deck, just using like Elven Archers will help you get that execute off, and some charged cards which we will be talking about as we go forward. So Elven Archer ×2, deal 1 damage. I used to think this card was garbage, but now I really enjoy it. It's just a great way of getting that execute off. Even if there's just a minion where you got that tiny bit of 1 life left, you can just finish them off with an Elven Archer. Super value, it's great, and then it leaves a minion on the board which can just tap away at things for 1 damage. And look, that also, say if you had like double execute, you could drop your Elven Archer, shoot for 1 damage, and then hit something else for 1 damage and double execute both minions or something like that. Some crazy stuff. Anyway, Double Leper Gnomes. I already mentioned this in a previous video, which was a basic mage deck for noobs. Check that video out. Leper Gnome is just super value card for 1 gem. Does 2 damage, can keep doing 2 damage a turn until they remove it. Obviously weaknesses are quite low life, can be removed with stuff like Fire Blast and so on. But once they do kill it, it's going to deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. No one is probably going to bother silencing a Leper Gnome, just because there'll be better targets for a silence. So it's going to pretty much get its value. It's going to at least do 2 damage more or less. Double Fiery War Axe. So this is your early cost removal. Things like Northshire Clerics, Leper Gnomes. You want to be using your Fiery War Axe to get rid of these minions. Snow Chuggers, God knows what else. The Fiery War Axe is just great early cost removal. And then it's still, once you remove 1 minion, you've still got it in your hand. And it can also be a deterrent to stop players from playing any low minions while you're waiting for your minions to come into your hand. Battle Rage. Draw a card for each damage friendly character. So in this deck there's a few minions which have slightly larger life and not very much damage, so hopefully you'll be able to trigger off a nice Battle Rage, get a few cards into your hand. But even if you can just play the Battle Rage on its own, you're still going to get a card back for it if you need it in an emergency. Double Cleave. Deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy minions. So this card is just great for removing annoying little crappy minions. Just play down your Cleave and clear off 2 minions. You could even use it with like a combo with Execute, for example. So you could throw your Cleave down, hopefully hit the target that you want, and then you can use your Execute. Get rid of that minion. Double Heroic Strike. So this is also a good early cost removal. This could remove things like Armor Smiths, for example, on a warrior deck. And it also removes the same things that Fiery War Axe, but it's got +1 damage as well. So it can even remove more than what the Fiery War Axe can. But you only get the 1 shot with it. And it's also just a great finishing touch if you're playing a match and you happen to get Heroic Strike towards the end. You can finish your opponent off with a Heroic Strike. How cool is that, huh? Not bad. 1 Acidic Swampoos. So with our minions we want them to be kind of like surviving a fair amount because of their life. Their life value is more better than their damage value, and we don't want someone with weapons basically chipping away at our minions and killing them off with weapons. So having an Acidic Swampoos is pretty much a must, but it also has 3 damage, which is quite nice, so you can still play it against characters like Warlocks, Priests, Mages, so on and so on, and they still get value from its damage. Double charge. So I used to think this card was pretty rubbish, but now I really like it since using it in this deck. It's just a great way of bumping up our minions that have a nice amount of life, giving it a bit of extra attack to make it more competitive, and giving it charge as well. So you can't really go too wrong, and it also gives a nice element of surprise in your deck, so that the opponent's never really going to expect. Little Exorcist. Battle Cry, gain +1/+1 for each death rattle enemy minion. So this is really good against things like Loot Hoarders, Leper Gnomes, Haunted Creepers. So they play anything like that, and then shortly afterwards, Little Exorcist, if there happens to go like that in the match, then you're going to have a minion that pretty much overpowers them. Razor Fen Hunter. Summon a 1/1 boar. So there's a 2/3 minion, then you get a 1/1 boar for free. This is really good if you manage to get it played early on in a match. So turn 3, bang, Razor Fen Hunter, you've got 2 minions on the board there and then. Even if you coin it out at turn 2, if you happen to go second, you get the Razor Fen Hunter slightly earlier, makes it even slightly better, and the 1/1 boar is great combination for getting off that executes. Double Warsong Commander. Whenever you summon a minion with 3 or less attack, give it charge. So most of the minions in this deck are going to have 3 or less attack, so Warsong Commander is going to help pretty much trigger all of them. You want to keep these hidden in your hand, and then you play your Warsong Commander, gives you that nice element of surprise again. Play your minion, give it charge, remove something, kill something, hit the face, whatever you want to do. Combo wombo, go for it. Gnomish Inventor. Battle Cry, draw a card. So this is just another minion that basically will combo with your charge and your Warsong Commander, and it also draws a card if you need that emergency card. Also great for removing totems from them goddamn shamans. Just a nice card in general. Can remove a lot of little minions, because there's a lot of rush decks lately. They're pretty annoying, and this is a pretty good answer to it. Oasis Snapjaw. So basically a Gnomish Inventor without drawing a card and more life. So this is, if with combined with charge as well, makes this a 4/7 minion, which isn't bad for the mana cost. Not amazing, but still good. Good enough to remove some mid-range minions in a game. Double Senjin Shield Master. So this also would combine combo wombo with Warsong Commanders. It's also just a great nice shielded minion which can hold off some like little rubbishy minions and stop them from going to your face. Maybe slightly good against hunters, stuff like that, unless they have like super good removal, like Hunter's Mark, stuff like that. Grabashai Berserker. So whenever this minion takes damage, gain +3 attack. It's quite an interesting throw into the mix with this Grabashai Berserker, because this isn't a typical warrior deck. We don't have Whirlwinds, we don't have Cruel Taskmasters, we don't have Revenges, anything like that which could trigger this minion off, but we do have Elven Archers which we can use to bump up the attack of this Grabashai Berserker. We also have Warsong Commander, which allows us to play the Grabashai Berserker, hit something, gain the +3 attack, and it's also just like a super decoy, because most people when they see this card they're going to think, I need to get rid of this card, and it's got 7 life, so it could even take 2 to 3 cards for them to actually remove the Grabashai Berserker, unless it was like a mage and you did damage with this already, and then they would just finish it like a fireball or polymorph, something like that. But yeah, Grabashai Berserker is great. It's a super decoy card, and it could just feed off of like little 1/1 minions, stuff like imps, things like that, bumping up its attack damage each time and then hit straight to the face. Reckless Rocketeer. So this is one of our finishing cards. We have 2 of these Reckless Rocketeers. They're 6 gems. If only they was 5 gems, we would probably win like 100% every time, instead of it being 80 to 100%. But there's a reason it's 6 gems and not 5, because it'd probably be super overpowered. It's not even a common card, not even a rare card, let alone all these epics and legendaries which we don't need. Anyway, so Reckless Rocketeer just adds that nice finishing touch that we need to wreck face. Anyway, so that leads us now to Force Tank Max with Divine Shield, 7/7 mech minion. God, I hate mechs. Anyway, So this card isn't really more of a finishing card for me, it's more of a distraction card. So I'll play this card in order to hope that their player is going to waste 2 to 3 of their cards on this card trying to remove it. So say for example they have a few minions on the board, I might play this, so they go, oh hang on a minute, that's a 7/7 tank, and it's also kind of like going, hey guess what, I got a tank. So they go and smash away 2 or 3 minions into it and they die, hopefully, depending on the situation. Obviously this is susceptible to things like Big Game Hunter, Shadow Word, Death, not really a whole lot, but yeah, it's susceptible to some things. Or beefier minions, which you're not going to get too many of. But yeah, I use this more of a distraction, but if it does manage to survive, then at least you can keep hitting face for 7 damage or remove some minions that are annoying you, and so on and so on. And that's that, guys. So now what we're going to do is see all these cards in action and just show you how it goes playing as a noob warrior. Who you call a noob? Alright then, spoilers. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to be talking you through a quick match. I say quick, it's one of those tricky ones again. Oh, as I said in the last video, I prefer to show a match where things don't go quite according to plan, so that you guys get an idea of how to respond if things start to get a bit ugly out there in the field of battle. So anyway, this one's up against a warlock. Oh, it's a pretty interesting match. I believe this one's actually against like a zoo type warlock, but we'll find out in a minute, I suppose. So there I didn't make any changes because I don't think Fiery War X is particularly that amazing against warlock, but it can be, but they can swarm so many minions onto the board. It's almost better to, because what happens with a Zoolock is they normally try to control the board with their minions and then they start hitting face. But we get Fiery War X anyway, so it was no big deal. And we take 4 damage from the 1 gem Leponome. That's why I like Leponomes. They deal quite a bit of damage for their 1 gemminess. He's got a new ruby and egg. So to watch out for things like Hellfire, Power Overwhelming. Probably got Power Overwhelming in his deck, I would imagine, if he's playing the Ruby and Eggs. Probably things like Void Terror. We'll play the Razorfen Hunter to try and get more of a board presence, because obviously playing against Zoolock, we have to watch out for being overrun with minions. So yeah, Direwolf Alpha, that's another good activator for the Ruby and Egg. So he's trying to make a decision whether he wants to summon his what are these things called again? Creepers or something. Normally a 4/4 minion, but with the Direwolf Alpha it's a 5/4 minion. And I'm making the decision here whether to clear it out with the Heroic Strike and take 5 damage, or whether to use Fiery War X and kill either the Dire. Probably run the boar into it and then use the Fiery War X, but we go with the Heroic Strike. Zoolocks are pretty well known for using acidic Swampus from time to time. That's probably why I'm making a toss up there about what to go for. There we have it, we've got more minions on the board. And don't forget we have our executes and Knife Juggler. So you can see where this is probably more than likely a Zoolock. You can see that he's starting to build up more of a presence on the board, using his Knife Jugglers to deal 1 damage at a time. So we've got him on a Fiery War X, clear off that taunt minion, get rid of that Knife Juggler, we don't like them. Especially with things like Implosion, you don't want to be messing with Knife Jugglers. And Blackrock Mountain. I think that came out on GVG actually. But anyway. So we've got our Gurabashai Berserker down. We can feed off of the minions. And he's just casted his Implosion, so it's lucky we cleared that Knife Juggler really. Otherwise that would have been pretty painful. Especially 4 of them, that would have potentially wiped everything we had on the board. So we've got little to fight back with. But we can make do with what we got. Because we're warriors. Hell yeah. So little Exorcist gains +1/+1 from the Leponome. We can clear the Leponome with the boar. Bye bye. And he does another 2 damage. See, that never known puts a lot of pressure on you. Direwolf Alpha's finally gone. And now the Berserker can feed off of those imps one at a time. Although, probably would want to run into a Mortal Coil now. With only 2 health. He hasn't got enough imps on the board to clear the little exorcist, little witty exorcist. Going for some draw here, probably looking for a fiery war axe. Cleave. That's what I was probably looking for. Maybe. Trying to clear some of the minions off the board. We really want to get rid of that shredder somehow. So charge goes on. But we're going to go straight for face, I believe, because sometimes when you're not really running the best cards in the deck and you've sort of got the advantage, sometimes it's best just to push for the face and try and finish the match before they can start getting out some really powerful, nasty cards. Things like Lord Jaraxxus. If he would have had Jaraxxus, that would have been pretty much it. By turn 9, there would have been nothing we could have really done to stop him. So he's gone for control there, because I think he was just a tiny bit short of finishing the match there, and was probably worried about some sort of charge combination coming out from me, but it wasn't there. That's the other good thing as well. If you have card advantage over your opponent, it makes them think, oh hang on, well, what have they got that's in their hand right now. It makes them worry. So we cleared 2 minions there. He's only got 5 damage on the board. We now have 4 damage. I need a way to add just that additional 2 damage. If he was to tap now, that would be pretty stupid, because then we could go 2, 4, finished. It would have been over. If he had power overwhelming, this match would have been finished right now. He could have possibly tapped and then went for the power overwhelming, but it doesn't look like he thought of that. He goes for the 5 damage, thinking it's going to be over. And oh, my favouriteest finishing move in the entire game, Heroic Strike. You gotta just love good old Heroic Strike, haven't you? So you can see how the deck pretty much fits together. It just happens to give you answers just when you need them, and I find that quite a lot when I've been playing this. Something just comes up no matter what. Alright then, spoilers, so now it's time for you to choose your noob deck, whichever one you like. Hopefully they'll all be done by the time you're watching this, but if not, I'll be planning to do a noob deck once each week. Unfortunately, it's only going to be once a week because I'm very busy at the moment. I've been entering a lot of competitions and stuff like that. Been playing down at my local esports bar, playing Hearthstone and that. So I've been very tied up and busy with stuff like that at the moment, but don't worry. I'm going to be hitting back up on the YouTube soon and be putting a lot more regular content, probably in a while or so. So guys, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy guys. Bye bye.